Hey guys, it's Matt here, Broken Supercoach, checking in. We've got teams up. Well, last night we had teams up, and it's an interesting week. So let's do a quick trades and teams video. I don't usually go through these in a big way, but there's some interesting stuff. But it also changes the way our trade can be set up as well, because I don't think there's a lot coming next week. So we'll get to that in a minute. But let's have a look, because there's a couple of good rookies. Well, not good rookies, we don't know yet, but there's a couple of cheapies named for the first time in this team section. So we'll just quickly go through them. We got Harry Sharp, um, named as in. So he's sitting on the bench right there. He was in a lot of teams going into the year. 120, I think, is a mid forward. I should open this up. That's my bad, fellas. So we'll go here. Harry Sharp, 123k, plays mid only. So that's handy. You know, if you've still got Noah Long, you've still got Hollins to come down, you've still got Baker to come down. This guy could be handy in 2 weeks. Issue is that it's Zorko and Rich. So those guys come in immediately. Daria Joyce also still there, who they'd been playing as well. So, you know, I don't know how relevant Sharp's going to be, depending on these injuries to Zorko and Rich, who I got to be honest with you. Last time I did this, I tried to find the injury list. Who knows? So I don't know how far off they are. There's nothing really relevant here. Sucks if you picked up, say, someone like, I know that some people were on Young, some people were on Sonzi, I think. Doesn't matter. You probably got good money out of them. Nothing. It's crazy that somehow there's still nothing relevant for West Coast. They got 26 fit players. Chester's still named here. Noah Long, we were told, was a hamstring. Nigel is turned into a real hamstring, I guess. So who knows where he is. But he's still got enough money that we're going to hold on to him, because surely he's in this. If he's not in the best 22, there's something wrong. Like, you know, these are all the players they've got, basically. This is everyone they've got on their fit AFL list. So you'd think the second that Noah Long comes back, he comes into this team, because he's better than a lot of these guys. The other one I wanted to talk about was Simpson. I sort of said that he wasn't going to be great, because Simpson, yeah, he plays for Geelong. But with these injuries now, and I know that DeConning is not, Bowes rather, is not a similar player, but Rowan injured, plus Stengel. So he's got 2 guys to come back first. So I think Simpson might have a good job security life, a bit better than we thought he was going to have. You know, Stengel comes back in 1 to 2. Simpson probably shares the team with him. And then we've got Rowan, who comes back, you know, a couple of weeks after that. So we do get a little bit of life out of Simpson. And he plays for a good team who have a pretty easy run. So we might be pretty happy with that. We're going to try him. I know he's 160, he's awkward, but if he's dropping 60s like he was on the weekend, it might be alright. Nothing in the Crows, nothing relevant here. If you've still got Michael Annie, he's probably still good, but you probably traded him, so there's nothing really relevant with the Crows. Laird's still in doubt. Whenever Matt Crouch is named here as an emergency, Laird's still very much in doubt. Apologies for that. Morning team's going absolutely wild. Needs to just chill out a little bit. Yeah, Matt Crouch named, so they're still worried a bit about Laird and that calf. If he gets through the game with 100, we're happy again. We're probably not hugely happy, but we're alright with it. They're probably just hoping he gets through to the bye, which is cool. The other one, I think Sloan was in a bit of doubt, but it was for resting, so they're not going to put Crouch in over Sloan as a late change unless he was actually injured, but he's not injured. So, yeah, I think it's just, you just got to watch that Laird for Crouch, and that's why that mid bench is really important, because I know a lot of us don't have any mid bench at all, or 1 or 2 mid bench at best. So if you lose Laird, that he's instantly in. So if there's another late change, then we're in strife. Thomas Berry, I wanted to talk about as well. He's named in, and he's named somewhere. He's named on the field somewhere, obviously, by the looks. Yeah, right there on half forward. So put up some decent scores. and he's a 123k DPP player, I think. No, just forward only. So that's handy as well because we need forwards. We've got Van Rooyen going soon. Chandler might be a keeper at this stage with money, but we've got Van Rooyen who we need to sort out. So pretty keen on him getting some games. Issue is Sexton, Weller, Holman. These are starters. So we're a little bit worried. And Ainsworth has played a fair bit of footy as well, from what I know. So how reliable is this guy's job security? I don't know. He's probably the worst of the lot considering these names. We got nothing here to talk about. Nothing really relevant. Libba's back, which will be good for Bont. But it's GWS. Probably try to tag Bont. Yeah, Sam Sturt admitted. We hate to see that. Pretty frustrating, actually. I can't understand that. He looked very good. At least Seamus Mitchell's back in, which we're pretty happy with. Named on the bench. Sub-risk, though. So a very good rookie who looked like a very good rookie might be in trouble this week if he gets subbed again. So that's frustrating. Yeah, there's no one else here to talk about. And there's no one else really to go through. They keep naming this guy Harvey Harrison. Never actually plays, so we're not going to talk about him. Yeah, this McAndrews. He's new, but he's not. I'm not going to bother talking about him because he's not going to play. But the other one is Blake Drury. Another one who's named on field, playing at halfback. Is a concern for Sheasel if Blake Drury does actually play halfback and Sheasel goes to that other role that he played earlier in the year when he got tagged, which means that he could be scored. But he's 100k DPP, so this guy's really flagged. I really like the look of him. If he can get us, if this guy can go for 40 to 50 and take us through to the buys, that's really good. The other one I did want to talk about, just quickly, speaking of buys, is Thomas Berry. If he gets regular games, he's got the best buy in the league. So Geelong and Gold Coast players have the best buy, which is also why I like Simpson. If he can get us to the buy, that's really nice as well. And I didn't talk about Angwin, who's named on field. Apparently they really like him. It'll be a toss-up for me as whether I get him in. So that's teams. That's interesting. There's a lot of rookies, but all of these are first game players. So we got nothing next week other than these kids who played. Weddle, who I didn't really like last week. He looked pretty average. I mean, you're going to look pretty average when you lose. A 130k defender. We kind of don't need any defenders. There's no one to go down in the defense. Scored 40. I mean, they lost by a lot, but whatever. Scored 40. And who was the other one? It was, it doesn't matter. They were all irrelevant, weren't they? None of these names are jumping off. Was it this guy here? Morrison. Might have been. Let's look just quickly. Nah. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, Weddle looked okay. 40, actually, we don't mind, but defense only is a little bit of a worry. That at least gives us a good chance for... Oh, it was Ramsden, and he got dropped, so... I thought he might be playing Ramsden. Yeah, it was Ramsden, ruck forward, which would have actually been handy if he played. But oh well, they like Reeves. Yeah, so... Yeah, Jath managed. So how frustrated... Quick rant. Seamus Mitchell looks good. Looks like he's scoring really well. Jath doing absolutely nothing. Looks like he was absolutely wrecked. Sub out Seamus Mitchell at the end of the game instead of Jath. And you're only going to manage Jath next week anyway. So I know that they don't play for Supercoach points, but come on, man. Give us a spell, will you? Jath manage is pretty good for Seamus Mitchell's points. I'd probably straight field him. I'm obviously going to loop Chincotta through Mitchell, but whatever. So... what does that mean for teams? It means next week there's only Weddle on the horizon. And is Weddle any good? I don't know. And Hawthorn are making 3 to 4 changes a week, aren't they? 2 or 3 changes per week. Jath needs to come back in at some point. Bruce needs to come back in at some point. So these guys obviously just don't want to fly to WA. Does Weddle not make it to next week if Jath is straight back in? That's a concern, isn't it, right? If you're looking at this. Jath's got to fit back in here, and you don't think he's going to take over any of these guys' spots. It could be that he takes over Mitchell's spot, but that would be horrendous coaching. So you would think that Jath just comes in for Weddle next week. So that's a concern, which means there's 0 rookies on the horizon next week, and there's 4 or 5 the week after. So the option is to either go early next week, which again is risky. You just take whoever scored the highest this week and hope that he gets picked, or boost that week and try to get 3. So that's round 10. What am I going to do this week for trades? So as you can see, if I hit this, I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to bring Simpson in and Chincotta in for Jones, Philippou, and Green. And Steele will be the premium I bring in. But the other thing I could do is go on Angwin. We've got Sturt not playing, potentially the sub. Roberts, a dead rookie. Long, seemingly injured. Don't know what the situation with him is, because he was supposed to just have a hamstring niggle. And we've got Constable. So that's 4 players who are not generating cash for us. And in the next couple of weeks, we got Van Rooyen, who will need to go soon. We got Hollands, who needs to go soon. And we got Baker, who needs to go soon. And keep in mind that Sheasel, I know that he looks good. We probably just have to keep persisting with him. But if he's playing that half-forward role because of Drury, we got Sheasel, who needs to go soon. So that's 5 rookies to address with not much on the field. So, if Weddle doesn't play next week, you need to find a way to be able to get rid of Van Rooyen if he scores another 30. And there's seemingly none. So the thought is that I don't bring in Steele this week, and instead also bring in Angwin. And I'll show you how that looks. Angwin. It gives us 500k to play with. And that way, if there's no down rookie next week, if we don't take Weddle, for instance, who I don't really like, I don't see him as part of my plans, and there's no obvious starter, Drury, Thomas Berry, if there's no obvious run, then we can just 2-up instantly. So Van Rooyen, that allows me to turn him into whoever I want. Steele again. You could turn Van Rooyen into Bont if you want. Turns Van Rooyen into anyone. It turns Hollands into anyone. It allows you to turn them both into premiums, in fact, without needing to go 1 up, 1 down. And I know you miss a premium score this week for that. That is obviously a concern, but long-term cash generation, it could be the move. It also allows you to get both Angwin and Simpson, because if I'm being seriously honest with you, it's a coin toss as to which one of these is better. You don't know. It's rookie roulette. People will say things like, "Oh, Simpson has good job security," like I just did, because of Stengel injury, because of the Rowan injury, and people will say, "Oh, Angwin, I don't know about that. He didn't really start. Why is he not playing? His scores have not been hugely impressive with a bunch of 40s, 60 and 40." But it's a total coin toss. Like you see it as well. That's why we loop every single rookie. It's why every chance we get, we loop a rookie on field, because you don't know. Sturt looked great, and then he scored 25. 37-62. A great example, Van Rooyen. He looked really good, and within a week we'll probably had to trade him. He's dropping 50s, 80s, and then suddenly he scores 30. Gold Coast, he does 30 again. He's out your team. So you don't know. Rookies, that's a total coin toss. Nobody knows. If you watch these videos for what rookie to field, you're just guessing. Everyone's just guessing. So I could do that trade. Will I? Probably not. I think Steele's too important. If you look at Angwin, he's expected to go up 30k. And if you look at Steele, no, we'll just cancel that. If you look at Steele, he's expected to stay the same. That's if he goes at 100. But if he scores 120, he probably goes up 20k as well. So worst case, if we're just going to go late on Angwin, rather than do anything like that. So that's how I'm going to do it. Because these rookies could reset their scoring too. Keep that in mind. So it's an option. Triple down is an option. I don't think I'm going to do it, though. I think I've got to take Steele at 537. His break-even's 120. Who are they playing? North. If he scores 150, it's probably worth it. Gee. I don't know. Points on field is more important to me than Angwin. And if worst case, if Weddle's dropped, then we're going to go Angwin the week after because he's not too bad. And we still have 120 to turn Van Rooyen into someone. All right. Anyway, I rambled on a lot about that, but it's a big week and it's a big choice week because there's genuinely one rookie on the horizon next week, and there's a true best 22 on the out of Hawthorn. So there will not be. I don't think there'll be a rookie next week for us to go one up, one down to. So I don't think it's a bad play to triple down and then double up next week because you're not missing out next week. But keeping in mind that you probably have to go early on Drury or Berry, whichever one looks better. Yeah. Anyway, let us know what you're doing. Hopefully that's giving you some tips. Oh, captains, yeah. I got a loop playing here and here. You don't want to VC Stewart. I'll be worried about VCing any Crows players just because of the fitness of Laird. After saying that, I probably will captain Steele into Oliver. So Oliver on that day, that I still got a loop here with Roberts. So you can literally VC anyone you want. So I'll probably VC Oliver against Gold Coast. What did he do last time against them? 120, 160, 106. So pretty reliable. That's a shortened game. So 166, 121. You're looking at over 120. So that's what I'll do. Yeah, cheers. See you later.